I'm not going to talk to people who claim to be federal agents unless they can show me identification.
Okay, well, you see our badges.
I need to see... Is your full name on that badge?
No.
I'd like to see something with your full name or I'm not going to talk to you.
I prefer you not to broadcast it.
This will be going online as soon as you walk away.
What happens when the FBI shows up at a man's door to investigate him for posting online, but he owns the FBI? You're about to find out. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants. Hi, FBI and Satan. Shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters, because truth conquers. Ladies and gentlemen, self-proclaimed defender of the Constitution, Jeremy Kauffman. He absolutely owns the FBI because they came to his house because he did this thing called free speech. Now, I'm not a legal scholar, so I'm not totally sure if there's like a constitutional amendment that guarantees the right to free speech. But we see what's happened in Great Britain, amongst other first world countries, where people are being imprisoned for free speech, where they post something online and the government says, well, that's hate speech because we hate what you said. And then they lock them up. Let's not have the misconception of that could never happen here, because they, and by they, I mean unelected people in positions of power who use elected people to do their bidding, want that to happen. They're doing their best to usher it in. Problem is, we have the second constitutional amendment that means tyrants have to move slower, and eventually we get tyrants to back off. So nonetheless, Jeremy Kauffman, I never knew of him before this, but you can find him on Twitter, and his video that we're going to watch is posted there of him owning the FBI. Such a delightful watch. My opinion, deserves an Emmy. He says he's a defender of the Constitution. Be free, make babies, build stuff, have fun. I kind of like that. He has a little over 150,000 followers, and now he has one more. He's earned that because I love what he did. So Jeremy Kauffman, he obviously knows his stuff. Took some time and went through his Twitter. It's like, okay, this is a guy who knows the Constitution. And what you'll see in the video when the FBI shows up, you'll see him standing his ground, knowing his rights. Because say the FBI showed up at someone's door who, they're aware of 3 or 4 constitutional rights, but they don't really know the Constitution. It would be very easy for a corrupt FBI who's fishing or just out to intimidate you to shut the hell up, because self-censorship is the most common form of censorship. It'd be very easy to be intimidating, like, oh, wow, the FBI, that is scary. But the more you know, the less you need to be afraid. And I think Jeremy Kauffman just exemplifies that beautifully. By the way, same FBI who's been persecuting Trump, doing raids on him, building a case on him, and now that same FBI is investigating the second assassination on Trump, probably needing to put their case against him on hold to get to the bottom of this. So, by the way, disclaimer, not lost on me, the FBI probably does some good work. I would guess 100% of what they do isn't corruption. But I would also guess that the amount of corruption they do isn't 0%. It seems very apparent they've become a political weapon for the Biden administration. So, as we take a look at this video of 2 FBI agents who refuse to show identification to this man, we watch them get owned here in their intimidation tactics, trying to, I'd imagine, get Jeremy Kauffman to shut up because he's inconveniently informing people of their constitutional rights. Tyrannical regime doesn't really like that, but their intimidation doesn't work because Jeremy knows his stuff. And by the way, this video posted just, I think yesterday, already has over 23 million views on it, and it deserves every one of them, and it deserves more. Let's give them one more together.
Hey, how can I help you?
How are you?
Who are you?
By the way, I like what Jeremy did. He didn't fall into the FBI's frame. It can be a way of building rapport, which can be a way of just manipulating and control. The FBI bald agent says, how are you? And Jeremy's response is, who are you?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Can you give your full name, please?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Agent O'Donnell. My full name is Agent O'Donnell with the FBI. Let's see your birth certificate with that full name on it.
Is that sufficient to identify as the only one O'Donnell affiliated with the FBI?
In New Hampshire, yes.
Could you please state your full name, sir?
Could you please stop recording?
No. It's First Amendment right.
I like that. I love that. He knew his right. He knew his right. He's on his property. He's recording. FBI, could you please stop recording? No, keeps recording. We'll get back to the topic at hand in just a second, but first, there's no question, we're entering a new realm of tyranny, where the three-letter agencies, FBI, CDC, FDA, they used to be for us. Now they're being weaponized against us, we the people. What? The FBI? They're not corrupt. Say more, JP. For example, agencies like the FDA, USDA, CDC are run by pharmaceutical companies and chemical companies that they are supposed to regulate. For that reason, Americans are the most unhealthy we've ever been. Obesity is up by 88% since 2019. And in a country that spends the most money on healthcare, heart disease is the #1 killer, and it's on the rise even further. That's what happens when you outsource your health to a corrupt healthcare system. Now, that's why I want to tell you about NMN by Black Forest Supplements. NMN is not just any supplement, it's a game changer. There's a reason why it's been dubbed the limitless pill. It's because its anti-aging effects can take 10 to 20 years off of your aging process. And it's also been shown to reduce weight, cholesterol, and blood pressure in overweight people. But the FDA wants to take NMN away. Why? One, because it makes strong people, and strong people are harder to control. And two, because pharmaceutical companies want to control NMN and escalate the pricing of it, thus taking access of good people like you and I away. In fact, just last week, because the pharmaceutical companies want to control NMN and reclassify it as a drug so they can monopolize it, Black Forest Supplements sued the FDA. We'll see what happens there, but long story short, corrupt powers that be want to take NMN away from people, so the time to get it is now while you still can. Black Forest Supplements agreed to give my viewers an amazing deal where for the next 48 hours when you buy 2, you get 2 free. So the time to stock up is now while you still can, and with this amazing deal. Powerfully reverse your aging and take control of your health by getting NMN now at blackforestsupplements.com/JP. And remember, for the next 48 hours only, you buy 2, you get 2 free. Enjoy. Be strong. Back to the video.
Could you start recording?
Absolutely not. You can show me your name and identification, or I'm going to go back inside my house.
Okay.
I don't really want to broadcast my.
Oh, this is going out right after you guys walk away.
So that's why I'm not going to.
So you can show me your name ID, you can walk away.
So we have to ask ourselves, the FBI is pretending we're not going to give you our full names because you're recording. To me, that's questionable. Like, would they give their full names if he wasn't recording? If we take the FBI at face value for a second, why are you ashamed? Why are you scared to have your full name on this recording? Is that because of what you're doing now? Coming to someone's house because they posted something online, doing free speech, exercising their first constitutional right? Because what you're doing around that is actually unconstitutional, potentially illegal, at the very least corrupt.
I'm not going to talk to people who claim to be federal agents unless they can show me identification.
Okay, well, you see our badges.
I need to see. Is your full name on that badge?
No.
By the way, you can see our badges. All right, well, that's not identification. That's a badge. And I get skeptical of the FBI. Cool, your badge is by your gun. Here's my badge. Is that meant to be an intimidation tactic? Like, I'm showing you my badge, which means you're seeing my gun, which means you should be scared. But Jeremy is not scared.
I'd like to see something with your full name, or I'm not going to talk to you.
For you not to broadcast it.
This will be going online as soon as you walk away.
Well, all I want to do is talk to you about a post that was made, and if you
Well-
happen to be the one that made the
That should send shockwaves through any American. FBI agent O'Donnell says, all I want to do is talk to you about a post you made. What in the world? This is America. Now, this isn't surprising because I know this is Biden's America. Now, I don't know the exact post he's referring to. The only legitimate reason why law enforcement should be talking to any American about a post or the post they made or words they said is if it was in some way inciting violence. because you're not allowed to do that with free speech. And if you extrapolate it, it makes sense. And we're not talking about the 1984 Biden administration method of inciting violence. Like, well, Trump said go home peacefully. So what he meant by that is go storm the Capitol. No, but actual inciting violence. So I scrolled through Jeremy's Twitter feed. I saw no evidence of that. And also knowing how much that term is thrown around, inciting violence, and how it's become diluted, and it almost never is used in association with someone actually inciting violence, I would guess Jeremy didn't do that. But here the FBI is showing up saying, we want to talk to you about words you said.
I want to talk to you about you guys coming here. Say you make a salary of, I don't know what, low 100K? You guys making six figures? Factor in 50% expenses, overhead, maybe 100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100 an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law, right? Like you're familiar with. So then why would you come?
Because we wanted to make sure that there weren't any.
No, you're coming because you're part of a regime that does this kind of thing when you know laws aren't being broken.
This guy knows his stuff. And I love how he's calm on his feet. You know, a lot of people, FBI agents, they're like, okay, you're going under a stress response. But this guy, I don't think he's under a stress response. He's probably delighted they showed up because he gets to exert the power of we the people, standing our ground on our constitutional rights. I'm rather inspired.
And that's an embarrassment, man. Didn't you guys read the Constitution? Do you not believe in America? Like, how do you do your jobs and go home?
We appreciate it.
Well, and like that, they start leaving. And I love how he called them out. Like, you're part of a regime that does this. You're part of a regime that views free speech as the enemy because you view we the people as the enemy. Because what you want is tyranny. Therefore, we the people are your enemy. And one of our principal powers that helps truth conquer is our right to say words.
You're walking away. Because nothing we did is against the law, and you guys are f***heads that try to act like bullies. And I hope you go home and are embarrassed. You can't even say your name on camera because you know that what you're doing is embarrassing. You know Americans that believe in the Constitution think you're laughable. And you go home and you think about what you did today. Go home and think about it, you cowards. Drive away.
I love this. And I have to agree with him. Anyone who becomes a foot soldier for a tyrannical regime, they're cowards. They're cowards. You know, you think about the Nazi Germany, people who did horrendous acts. They were just following orders. They were just following orders because they were cowards.
Drive away.
Thank you for your time.
You're not welcome. You should be embarrassed. Embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing.
And away they go. I love this man, what he stands for. I love his knowledge base, and it's something I need to get more educated on, to be honest with you. And his demonstration of standing on his rights, not being cowardly himself. But who could fault him if he fell for the intimidation of FBI agents? Sure, come inside. What do you want to know? Of course I'll stop recording. This is an amazing example. Now, obviously, this guy is doing something right, or else the FBI wouldn't be investigating him for his words that he said. We know you didn't break the law. We're just here to talk to you about what you said. Well, that means I'm doing something right. And then you can find a number of smear articles on him and even his wife that show you, they're doing something right. They don't smear good people. They don't smear bad people. They only smear the people that are empowering other people. That's what the media does. Case in point, this one hits home for me. I don't know where this article was published, but take a look at this. Extremists, Rachel Goldsmith and Jeremy Kaufman. Extremists. He's like extremely knowledgeable and extremely bold. Goldsmith, so talking about, I believe, his wife, is the leader of the New Hampshire chapter of the extremist group Moms for Liberty, which threatens to put bounties on educators' heads for teaching divisive concepts. That hits home for me. The extremist group of a chapter of Moms for Liberty. I know this is complete BS. It was a beautiful honor to do a speaking gig at a Moms for Liberty group. And it was full of top-notch people. And what these groups are, Moms for Liberty, this is how extremist they are. By the way, school boards that tell parents who are speaking up that they are extremists, that they are domestic terrorists, they're the ones labeling these people extremists. Moms for Liberty, they're extremists. Yeah, they're extremely pro-freedom. They're extremely concerned about their children. So what Moms for Liberty does is they take action. They get elected to school boards. Why? Because they want to keep the gender ideologies out from invading their children's minds. They want to protect children and keep school what it should be for. Schooling, not indoctrination. So as I've had the pleasure of learning about Moms for Liberty, I am an absolute fan. FBI, probably put me on your list. I'm probably already on your list, aren't I? Cool. I'll see you at my door shortly. Don't expect to come inside, and I will record you. And then what does Jeremy Kauffman have to say to Newsweek that reaches out for him on a comment about his FBI video? Take a look. So apparently a screenshot from email. Newsweek request for comment. Do you wish to comment further? Was it right or in the public interest for you to film the FBI agents who came to your house? Have you heard anything more from the FBI? Here's what Jeremy says in response. Any news publication that would ask whether it's in the public interest to record law enforcement officers who refuse to state their names is too far gone to respond to at length. Think about what you've become and be better. That's what he said to Newsweek. And that is magnificent. And yeah, all agree. Like any news organization that's questioning, like, is it in the public's best interest to know what the FBI is doing? Is it in the public's best interest to know that FBI is investigating people when they're not doing anything illegal? They're just doing things that are inconvenient to our tyrannical regime. Is that really in the public's best interest? Yeah, it's extremely in the public's best interest, just so you know. So when the FBI isn't busy raiding Mar-a-Lago, trying to take down Trump, that's not election interference. They're busy going to Jeremy Kauffman's house and getting recorded, backing down because they have no ground to stand on. I love this video. One of my favorite videos I've ever seen. Jeremy Kauffman, you're doing great work, setting a great example for Constitution, freedom-loving Americans. With that said, let me know what you thought about this video. I look forward to seeing you on our next shindig together, but until then, stand your ground.